Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Capto's Agents of AI, our podcast that is dedicated to people within our ecosystem, network, community, all the above. It's inclusive of clients, partners, friends, allies, and again, I'll continue to say people that we feel inspired by in the AI landscape. Capto does this to support insights that are relevant to people that are exploring the fields of agentic AI, and also as inspiration for those of you who are already deploying AI in your organization or in your personal life. Today, we are very excited to feature who I will be calling the payments robot. A reminder, and for those of you listening for the first time, the main portions of our call are going to be anonymized with Mr. Payments Robot speaking. We will reveal their identity at the end, so please listen to the end, and we'll reveal their identity then. Mr. Payments Robot, if you can please introduce yourself, but again, reminder, no names, not where you work. I know it's a little bit difficult. I'm still training myself, but a little bit more about you and your background would be great for the audience.
Great, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Payments Robot, and I started as a IT guy, as true robot. More than 25 years ago, with my career as a programmer, software developer, and all these 25 years, I used to work for IT companies, several banks, payment systems, and I ended up as a top manager and strategy director in a bank. And now I'm leading my own software development company who works in fintech and banking. And glad to be here, and hope that our conversation will be interesting for everybody.
Got it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Payments Robot. I know that we're going to be releasing this episode as a part of a what we're going to be calling Payments Week at Capto, and I think you're going to be a very important contributor to all the payments-related insights that are rolled out during that time period and in the future as well. But why don't we start with just a little bit more about you, or a segue into your career and your role. What has drawn you to it, or what do you like most about the work that you do? Could be the impact that it drives or the people that you work with, but I'll let you take it from there. Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays I like very much that I have enough freedom and enough responsibility. But before that, if we stick to my payments part of my career, we've done several specific interesting payment methods and scenarios. I was one of the first in my countries when we started first NFC payments, and I was part of the standardization group in Visa. We have done mobile bank verified by Visa standard, and I was part of the mobile payments infrastructure for MasterCard. It was one of my projects as well. So I've seen all the from bump payments to QR code payments, and from card payments to mobile operator account payments. So that's huge. I can tell background which helps me nowadays, and it gave me very interesting network of professionals, and I've seen a lot of use cases which can be applied nowadays as well.
Great. Well, that's really exciting. But I think our follow-on questions are going to hopefully focus on a few of those use cases or a few of your favorites. I would share here, like in response, Alexei, the CEO of Capto, and I were going back and forth earlier today that, as entrepreneurs, and we really like featuring entrepreneurs on this program, pressure is a privilege, we say, because you have, this freedom and this opportunity, but then also you have the pressure to support your business and be successful. And it sounds like that might be something that resonates with you, Mr. Payments Robot. And so, we're really here to support each other together. It can get lonely as entrepreneurs.
I agree, absolutely agree with you. So my career can be split onto two parts. One is corporate career, and I ended up as a C-level banker. So I'm like office animal. Corporate animal, and after that I graduated from business school and decided that I need all the responsibility. So that's the second part of my career. But sometimes nowadays I still think that it's better to have a safe place to work. in several moments, but
Yeah.
not every day. But to be honest, that's like that.
Great. Okay, well, one more kind of question about your career and your role before we move on to, the AI portion of the discussion. But, what do you feel like in the payment space is something that's underappreciated about people that are working in this industry or people within your role? What do you feel like is something that we should be shining a light on and people should be more grateful for?
I see that the history is repeating itself.
Mm,
I see that from in my career, I've seen several times when we came to the point where we tried to build payments contactless, effortless, etc. But after that, we not noticed that security is very interesting and very important part of the payment, and we bounce back and forward and back and forward. So nowadays, I see that there is different user experience in different countries, and sometimes, for example, in Europe, we don't appreciate enough user experience, very good user
mm,
experience, but we rely on expertise of security guys who squeeze user experience and
yeah,
don't give don't give digital leaders to build the best user experience they can. So
yeah,
that's the trade-off, and I see that from time to time, every maybe 7 years, I see such kind of new wave. We're moving forward and backward in this with this functionality. So I
yeah,
believe that focusing on user experience is still it obvious. We see that in leading platforms it works well, but in banking where I do work,
yeah.
uh, I see that there's a huge space for improvement.
Got it. Got it. Well, so if I could maybe then just speak back, it seems like being able to still be creative and still be able to deliver something unique and special to end users in such a highly compliance ridden or security ridden industry is probably what you would say is like what differentiates people that are super successful in the payment space versus those that are maybe less.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
As I mentioned, I have two parts of my person. One is corporate animal, and this means that I've seen such kind of fights between compliance, security
Yep.
guys, lawyers, and digital guys. But when I saw that in bank, CEO, usually that's the CEO and supervisory board, if they pushed everybody to be a businessman,
Yep.
even compliance officer, even security officer. In this case, we got very good user experience as well and very satisfied customers.
All right, great. So why don't we kind of move towards the AI portion of our discussion? We're again really excited to have somebody with such deep payments expertise on the program. So, do you mind? We won't hold you to the exact standard of this, but maybe talk us through like one of the early or the first AI use cases that you saw go into production in the payment space. Like, what did that look like, and what were some of the basics of how AI started being used? I know that this could probably technically go back quite a number of years, but maybe more so like in our current definition of AI. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, with pleasure. But let me start with the most earliest example of my first touch
Yeah.
with AI. It was 27 years ago in
Yeah.
1995, 1998. Yeah, and it was a student project. At that time, I built my first neural network, and we can tell that it was already AI because
Mm.
AI is like a term, very wide term, and using machine learning, of course, gives us also one of implementations of AI. Going forward to my first application of AI and or machine learning. We
Yeah.
didn't call it like that that time. It was machine learning first of all, and we used AI in fraud monitoring first of all,
Mm.
in authentication in a bank and scoring systems.
Yeah.
It was around 2012. First time I I had such kind of experience, and you know how it works. We can upload into the model all the signals, for example,
Yeah.
IP addresses, MC numbers, and amount of payment and the behavior of the customer, etc. And after that, we decide whether we would like to ask him another authentication secret or not. That's how it works. But what is the most interesting I can recall from that time is that I was part of the discussion on a supervisory board of one of the banks, and I used to work. And on this discussion, it was very difficult to prove that using AI is possible in loan scoring system, because everybody wanted us to explain how it works. And we
Yeah.
couldn't explain because you have weights, you have algorithm, you have learning, and reinforced learning, and you don't know how it solves the problem, but it solves better than rule-based scoring system. And frankly speaking, at that time, it was 2012, they didn't agree to implement such kind of algorithm. But after that, we returned to that in 2 years, when all the competitors did it.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I'd be curious to maybe if you have had continued conversations with people, how they might have changed their tune nowadays, because it's so anxious to adopt AI technology. And I can, hopefully make the joke here in all seriousness that maybe life got a little bit more difficult for criminals around like the early 2010s and 2012 with the introduction of things like this. And which I guess would bring me to my next question in terms of, okay, now where we're at today with, hopefully continued exponential advancement in the space, what do you still feel as though the use cases center around those scoring and those fraud type of opportunities? Do you still feel that there's quote unquote low hanging fruit in there, or are you more enthusiastic about other use cases in the payment space, and what might those be as we look to go live with more in the future?
Of course, those spheres like fraud monitoring, for example, is still on the table, because there are a lot of ways how to fraud the transaction, how to fraud with payments. But nowadays we see that we are moving to more behavioral analytics, or like video analytics, or more sophisticated analytics. But what I see now is, of course, with this rise of LLMs, I see that there are a lot of implementations, specifically in our projects as well, where you give AI agents to do more job in terms of customer service, in terms of collection as well, and in terms of marketing and help with operations for the customers. I can give you 2 examples of real current projects. One of them is collection. If previously we got like machine learning algorithms which gave us next best offer, or gave us opportunity whom to reach and how to collect money in terms of loan collection. So nowadays we try to work with AI, pointing it the target. So collect the loan without disturbing the customer, understanding his behavior, understanding whether it's necessary now to collect and which channel to use. What I would like to tell is that we usually automate still the part of the process. Of course, somewhere human should be in the middle. But knowing the process, that's easier nowadays to automate and give more conversation, more decision making to the agents, AI agents. The second example is transaction moving with a bank account. So if I see the transaction, if I see the account, one account and another, I can move from one to another with help of AI agent. For safe transactions, that could be automatical, but for larger transactions, still we have human in the middle, for sure.
Got it. All right. And we'll listen, I think it's really important whenever our guests mention having humans in the loop and having humans be a part of the AI processes, it's an important call out because it's one of those things that has been constant in the field of automation and AI, this fear or dread of those items replacing humans entirely. Each time that somebody recommends a use case, I would say very frequently there's the mention of humans being in the loop because it's important. It remains important. So thank you for sharing a few of those use cases that include humans in the loop, Mr. Payments Robot. And if you wouldn't mind, a final question related to AI and advice for your peers, advice for the listeners. I think at this stage, people are very much understanding that AI should be a part of their future, but maybe some of them are falling behind or feel overwhelmed with what their next step should be. What would you suggest in terms of like resources or words of motivation that you could share? It's definitely helpful if this could fall into the payments space, but I realize that this is a broader question too. So if you want to take that approach, it's perfectly fine as well. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Excel, we started to use Excel,
Yeah.
and sometimes people told that, okay, now we don't need accountants, for example, or financial guys because we have Excel. And nowadays we have the same with AI, but with a larger scale for sure. But still, my suggestion is to think pragmatically, because sometimes we see from our customers that they come to us and ask us to implement AI feature into the product. And when we start to understand the business requirement and business goal they want to achieve, and we tell them that, you don't need AI here. We can implement it in faster and cheaper way, for example, and more stable way. But sometimes that's a hype. My suggestion is to use AI as a tool to go gradually for automation. As we mentioned about human in the loop, that's important for now. And the first step, which we usually suggest to our customers, is to define the process itself and think which parts of the process you would like to automate and what instrument is the best. Of course, that's very attractive to upload everything to AI and expect that something will happen. But defining the process and optimizing the process before you will start using AI, that's the key from my point of view.
Great. Well, we have one final, I guess, question, but it's more of a fun tradition here at Agents of AI. We ask all of our guests if they have a recommendation or somebody that they would like to tout as by definition, an agent of AI, somebody that's enthusiastic about AI, somebody that we can all learn from. Ideally, this could be somebody that could be a future guest, but we also like hearing of, other content creators or people that are really good stewards of the future of AI. So do you have any suggestions for the audience out there of who they should be following, who they should be listening to, or who we should have as our next guest? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that your content makers will cut it because I haven't prepared this part.
It's okay. We can. Well, how about this? For anybody who's listening to the call, we can follow up it. Just read the comments and the description of the episode. We'll touch base with Mr. Payments Robot after the call and make sure that we get a recommendation or two and include it just in the release. So no worries there. And why don't we do the big ending? So reveal yourself, Mr. Payments Robot. If you go back to your settings and filters and just simply click off.
Try. Yeah, I will try. That's a difficult technical solution. Yeah. Hi.
There you are. Hi. Thank you for joining. I've made it a tradition myself not to say the person's name and let them introduce themselves and tell more about yourself now in a non-anonymized state. And yeah, thank you for joining the program. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm Slava Kostin. So I'm CEO and founder of Visla Code Solutions. We are a software development company for fintech and banking, and we are leveraging my experience of more than 25 years and team's experience of more than 10 years by implementing the clever solutions to our fintech and banking partners. So we'll be happy to continue discussion, and thank you very much, Peter, for the invitation. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Slava. You were very helpful, and really appreciate having people like you in our network to come and be a part of this program. Please keep an eye out for Slava. I know Slava is very active on LinkedIn. You can go to, is it visacode.com? Is there any other call outs that you'd like to make? We'll make sure to tag you when we release the episode. But is there any other preferred ways to get in touch, Slava, or is that it? Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be happy to talk to everybody.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.